Vampires are creatures that often suck human blood, but Staz has never sucked human blood even though he is also a vampire, as his hobby is snuggling in rooms to make an otaku. Although he is an otaku who loves manga, Staz is also a regional boss in the demon world, and his juniors informed him that they had just found a human girl. Staz had never seen a human girl before, so he was eager to get his juniors to bring her to meet him, but when he met this human sister named Fuyumi, he immediately contacted him. Keep talking about comics. Meanwhile, a tree seller suddenly appeared in Staz's area, and a junior warned him that if he wanted to do business in this area, he had to ask Staz's permission first, but he used the crowd. Ghost your tree to blow up the area. The juniors called Staz down to deal with the tree seller, but Staz didn't care because he was busy talking to girls. Staz feels himself losing control around Fuyumi, and he discovers that his vampire instincts are hungry for blood. However, Staz still managed not to harm Fuyumi, and Fuyumi thought that the phone call from Staz's juniors seemed quite important, so he immediately flew out of the room to come down to help. For the juniors, Staz got angry and went to face the tree seller who was causing trouble in the area, and he used a spell to break his heart. When she returned to her room, Staz was shocked to see that Fuyumi had been eaten by a tree ghost, but it seems that she was transformed into a ghost after her death. Staz decided to find a way to bring Fuyumi back to life, and he carefully cleaned and stored Fuyumi's remains in the cupboard. However, Staz can only read manga to find a way to revive Fuyumi, and he proposes to find the 7 Dragon Balls to ask for her resurrection wish. Fuyumi showed Staz how she got to the demon world, and Staz was excited when she realized that the gate she passed through was called the Black Curtain, a portal capable of connecting dimensions. Together, Staz desperately wanted to go to the human world to learn about otaku culture and find a way to revive Fuyumi, and Staz took Fuyumi to a bar run by a three-eyed ferret. When they learned that Staz wanted to go to the human world, everyone was worried that there would be no one to take care of this area, but Staz let a junior transform into him to look after the area for him. Everyone held a party to say goodbye to Staz, and the next day Staz and Fuyumi set off to go to the human world. When they stepped through the black curtain, the two of them appeared in Fuyumi's room, and while touring the house, they came across her father, but he didn't realize his daughter was dead. Then scolded her for suddenly disappearing. However, Staz sprayed something on him that calmed him down, and it turned out that the liquid was the poison that came out of the vampire's teeth, which had the effect of making those affected must obey his orders. According to Staz, they weren't human and should avoid attracting attention as much as possible, but this young man couldn't hide his excitement as he walked around the city. The two of them went to Fuyumi's school together, and it seems like her friends and teachers still don't realize that she's dead, but when talking, she feels like she's drifting away from her friends. Soon after, Staz informed that ghosts like Fuyumi wouldn't be able to survive in the human world for too long, and that her limbs were indeed disappearing, but Staz gave her a drop of his blood to drink. To help her stay in shape. Returning to Fuyumi's room, they suddenly met a girl named Belle, and she claimed to be the owner of the Black Curtain. Belle made Staz pay 60 million yen for freely using her curtain, but Staz refused to pay, so she used a dimensional portal to throw Staz into the street. Staz was making his way back to Fuyumi's house when Belle suddenly appeared in a neighboring window, and she took Fuyumi hostage to force Staz to obey her orders. Belle had Staz go down to a demon's clothing store to steal a pair of pants, and to do that Staz would have to fight the shop owner, but Staz could defeat him with just a flick of his hand. Belle also went to the shop and said that she was just teasing Staz, and when he learned that Staz was trying to revive Fuyumi, Belle told him about the existence of a resurrection book, but the book is located in the western demon world area. In the western part of the demon world is the territory of a werewolf named Wolf, and Staz and Fuyumi have returned to the demon world to prepare to leave. Staz had ordered a carriage driven by 2 pigeons to take everyone to the western demon world, and although they ran very fast, counting money was slow. Coincidentally, Wolf was also planning to catch the car to go out, so he stopped the carriage, and when he saw that the carriage wouldn't stop, he split it in half, but luckily Staz and everyone else, who still survived that attack, thought Staz and Wolf would have a battle, because they are both bosses of 2 different regions, but it turns out that the two of them have been close friends since childhood, and Staz asked Wolf to help him find the book. Revival book mentioned by Belle. However, Wolf refused to help Staz, so Staz challenged Wolf to a boxing match to solve the problem, and if Wolf lost he would have to help Staz find the resurrection book. Fuyumi was the one holding the scoreboard in their match, and as soon as Wolf saw her outfit, Wolf immediately sprayed his nose. As a werewolf, Wolf's physical strength is superior to Staz's, so Wolf punched Staz in the face in the first minutes of the match, but fortunately a vampire like Staz has the ability. Wounds heal pretty quickly. Wolf punched Staz in the face repeatedly so that his body could not recover, but when he was punching, Wolf suddenly felt tired, and it turned out that Staz had secretly used his fangs to suck it all up. Wolf's strength. Wolf didn't have any strength left, so Staz easily defeated him, but he still managed to transform into a wolf to continue fighting. However, Fuyumi cried and stopped the two because she didn't want them to punch each other like this, and Belle suddenly appeared and used a space magic to send them somewhere else. Turns out Belle was the one who kept the resurrection book all this time, and she hid it because she wanted to see Staz and Wolf punch each other for fun. Belle gave the book back to Staz as compensation for him, but the book was written in a language that no one could read, and Staz was surprised to discover the book. This was written by his brother. His brother Braz is currently living in the land of the demon nobles, and he is afraid to go back there because he has run away from home before, but people still force him to go back there. To ask her brother how to revive Fuyumi. Before leaving, Staz went to Belle's room to prepare, and Belle took the opportunity to seduce him. Belle discovered that Staz had an extremely powerful source of power, but it seems that his source of power was sealed, and Staz revealed that the person who sealed it was his brother. Staz suddenly became very excited when he saw Belle's phone. After bringing Staz back to his home by the portal, Belle left immediately, and he tried to hide so that he wouldn't be caught by his older brother, but he accidentally met him again. His younger sister named Liz. Although she knew that Staz was her brother, Liz continued to attack him, because she thought that a runaway like Staz was no longer worthy to return to this house, and she summoned a giant arm to send Staz to the clan's prison. Meanwhile, Fuyumi was eating and drinking with Wolf when her body disappeared again, and Wolf rushed her to see a man named Frankenstein for help. Staz tried to escape from prison time and time again, but he couldn't beat the two zombies guarding the gate. Braz also went to see Staz when he learned that his brother was home, and as soon as he met him, Braz shot him 2 bullets in the middle of his chest, but those 2 bullets actually had the ability to restore mana to him. Staz asked Braz to help him revive Fuyumi, but Braz refused to help because he had nothing to gain in this case. Seeing Braz happily talking to Staz, Liz felt very jealous, and she assumed that Braz was always only interested in Staz and not herself, but Braz tried to explain to her that he loved his 2 brothers equally. Wolf was furious when Frankenstein refused to treat Fuyumi, but he would agree to help if Wolf would do him a favor. According to Frankenstein, one of his artificial humans escaped, but the artificial was too strong, so Frankenstein wanted to ask Wolf to capture him, and coincidentally Braz also asked Staz to go catch that artificial person if you want my help. Braz said that as a child Staz possessed an unusually strong source of mana, but each time he used the power, Staz immediately fainted. And Braz thought Staz would quickly lose his life if this continued, so he saved his brother's life by sealing the source of that power. However, Braz believes that Staz has complete control over that source of power now, and that he will unleash Staz's source of power so that he can destroy the artificial human. Meanwhile, Wolf is facing Frankenstein's artificial human, and after being unsealed, Staz easily blows away the 2 zombies guarding the gate with a single glance. The artificial man repeatedly attacked Wolf with a space magic, and Wolf had to transform into a werewolf to fight him. Wolf was greatly enhanced when he turned into a werewolf, but he couldn't maintain this form for too long. During the fight, Staz suddenly fell from the sky, and Wolf's time to transform into a werewolf was over. Wolf decided to retreat to leave the artificial human to handle Staz, and Staz and the artificial man had a fierce battle. Staz was going to use his move to blow away the artificial man, but before he could strike, he was kicked away by him. Staz used his heart attack skill on the artificial man, and in a single hit his body was crushed to dust. However, the artificial human was actually teleported to another place by Belle, and she dissected his body parts and gave them to Frankenstein. Braz and Liz suddenly appeared in front of the 2 of them, and he immediately ordered Liz to arrest Frankenstein for creating something dangerous for the demon world. Staz leaves Braz to meet Fuyumi to find a way to revive her, but Braz only spends his time flirting with Fuyumi. Staz continues to give Fuyumi his blood to help her maintain her form, and it seems Fuyumi feels very good about tasting his blood. Staz took Braz with Liz to visit his juniors. Staz handed over Fuyumi's remains to Braz, and he immediately returned home to find a way to revive Fuyumi, but he left Liz here to look after Staz. Fuyumi cooked Staz and Liz a plate of egg rice each, and Liz commented that Fuyumi's egg rice dish was delicious. Staz brought Liz home and introduced her to his anime series, and Liz couldn't take her eyes off the screen after seeing them. While staying here, Liz grew closer to Fuyumi, and Fuyumi also promised to always be by Liz's side whenever she felt lonely, but the next morning Fuyumi suddenly disappeared without a trace. Liz immediately reported the news to Staz, and Staz assumed that Fuyumi must have been taken by someone. According to Liz, Braz was able to know Fuyumi's location because he had placed a tracking device on her, so Staz suggested that Liz go back to him to inquire about Fuyumi's current location. Staz's brothers had discovered that a suspicious person had appeared in the area recently, and a junior had transformed into that person for Staz to identify, but Staz did not know this guy at all. On the way back home, Liz accidentally met a demon inspector named Barrows, and she was looking for Braz to invite him to meet the king of the world, but Liz did not consider him a king because he was the one who took their parents' lives. Meanwhile, Braz was with Frankenstein performing some experiments on artificial names, and when the doorbell rang, Braz quickly invited Barrows into the house. Barrows used a ring to seal Braz's magic, believing he had committed a crime, and Barrows would personally escort him to meet the king. Staz is still going everywhere in search of Fuyumi's kidnapper, and during the investigation, he learns that the person's name is Nell. Nell was currently sitting ramen in a noodle shop, and Nell had Fuyumi imprisoned in one of his space cloths, but Belle discovered Nell through her monitor. Belle used the portal to go directly to Nell, and it turned out that Nell was her brother. Belle was surprised to learn that the person who ordered Nell to arrest Fuyumi was their mother, and while they were talking, Staz suddenly appeared. Staz was about to attack Nell to rescue Fuyumi, but Belle shot him down, and Belle sent Staz into his own space. It seems Belle has had a crush on Staz for a long time, so she doesn't want him to go rescue another girl. Staz fought a battle with Belle to find a way out of this dimension, and during their battle Belle accidentally dropped the notebook containing her feelings for Staz, so when Staz picked it up when that book came up, Fuyumi quickly offered to surrender. Barrows escorted Braz to the king's palace, and she handed Braz over to her commander named Goyle, and Fuyumi was taken by Nell to a castle floating in the sky. While they were preparing to meet Nell's mother, Belle suddenly appeared from the portal, and she also brought Staz to this place. The king met with Braz to question him about one of his missing men, and Braz did not hesitate to reveal that he was the one who killed his men. Braz still holds a grudge against the king because he was the one who killed his parents, and Braz will find a way to depose him so someone else can become king, but the king doesn't seem to care about Braz's words. Barrows took Braz to the prison to hold him, but Braz fooled her to escape from the prison. Commander Goyle was furious when he discovered that Staz had defeated his subordinates, and he immediately vomited a little demon and set out to capture Braz. Everyone was led to see Belle's mother, and they were surprised to learn that she was also Fuyumi's mother. Belle's mother explained that each person in the demon world would have a version of themselves in the human world, and that if the two versions met, they would be merged into one. Belle's mother used to take her daughter with her to the human world to visit, and she accidentally met Fuyumi's mother who is also a version of her in the human world, so the two of them will re-enter as one. Their mother didn't want Staz to perform the resurrection magic on Fuyumi, and she wanted to keep her daughter in the demon world forever. Goyle finds Braz and knocks him down with a fatal blow, but Braz reveals that he has the ability to control his health wherever he is. Before leaving the prison, he left some of his blood with Barrows, so he can now take Barrows's life at any time, causing Goyle to retreat to preserve his life. Below his. While walking in the garden, Staz met Belle's father, a three-headed hydra, and he turned into an otaku to make it easier to talk to Staz. Belle's father told Staz that after Fuyumi's mother was incarnated with Belle's mother, he fought for a wife with Fuyumi's father, but Fuyumi's father decided to leave his wife to him, so he wanted to tell him. Protect Fuyumi in return for giving her wife to her father. Belle's father attacked Staz to force him to tell him why he wanted to revive Fuyumi, and he assumed that Staz would suck Fuyumi's blood after resurrecting her. However, at the moment, Staz still doesn't know why he wanted to revive Fuyumi, and Belle's father took Staz to his otaku room. Belle's father gave Staz a dumpling, and according to his words, this cake has the ability to bring a death curse to the person who eats it. Belle's father wants Staz to swear that he won't harm Fuyumi after resurrecting her, and that if he does, the curse from this cake will kill him. After saying that, he immediately shoved the cake into Staz's mouth, but it turned out that this cake did not carry any curse at all, it was just an ordinary cake coated with anesthetic. After regaining consciousness, Staz saw Fuyumi right next to him, and Belle's mother reprimanded him for letting Fuyumi go with Staz, but he did so to repay Fuyumi's father. Staz asked Fuyumi if herself really wanted to be resurrected, and when she answered, yes, Staz was happy because it proved that he wasn't forcing her to be revived. At the end of the film, Staz leads Fuyumi through a door to leave Belle's house. Thank you for watching the entire video review of this anime. I will leave other videos of the channel here, and don't forget to press the subscribe button along with the bell button to receive notifications when the channel releases new videos.